On behalf of State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister, I'd like to welcome you today to our webinar covering the 2019-2020 Bilingual Audit process. My name is Dan Rule, and I'm with the OSDE Office of Accountability, and I'm standing with Legay Riggs, who is one of our regional accreditation officers. And today we're going to walk through the process of doing the bilingual audit for your district. So first off, we're just going to do a little bit of background history on bilingual status to make sure we understand what's going on. So first off, let's look, looking at the home language survey. The responses given on the home language survey, or HLS, determine bilingual funding status and flag students for potential EL screening. That is the purpose of the home language survey. All right, it is a twofold document. First purpose is to identify students who may need to be screened for EL services, and the second is to justify bilingual funding for those students who are not EL but still qualify for bilingual. The 2019-2020 Bilingual Count Verification Packet outlines the general rules concerning basic identification and is currently available on the OSDE website on the Title III page of the Federal Programs area. Remember, all EL students are considered bilingual, but not all bilingual students are necessarily EL. That sentence right there is why we are having this webinar today, because some students will receive bilingual state aid funding even though they're not EL status. And that is the purpose of the bilingual audit, is to make sure that those students who are receiving bilingual funding and who are not EL are justified in doing so. So, establishing status. If two or more of the three language responses are a language other than English, the student is what we consider more often and automatically qualifies for bilingual state aid. Always, that's the deal. If a language other than English is indicated only once on the three language responses, the student is considered less often and qualifies for bilingual state aid if they also meet one of the following criteria. And that's a score basic or below basic on the previous year's OSTP ELA, or a score at or below the 35th percentile composite reading score from the spring of the previous school year on a state-approved norm reference test. And these would be any of the tests that, for your younger students. So if you had, a second grader or a third grader that didn't take OSTP the previous year, these would be any assessment located on the RSA K-3 approved assessment list, or an older student, a sophomore, junior, or senior, any assessment that's listed on the Driven to Read approved assessment list. Okay, and again, the purpose of the bilingual audit is to ensure that districts are justified in receiving bilingual funds through the state funding formula. The Regional Accreditation Officer, or your RAO, assigned to your district will only review the home language surveys of those students receiving bilingual state aid who are not coded as EL. Districts must provide an HLS, home language survey, and supporting testing documentation as appropriate for each student being claimed for the purposes of bilingual state aid, organized in the format detailed in this presentation. And as Legay will surely emphasize, organization is key to getting through this process with the minimum of headache. The following slides will walk through the bilingual audit process and the required documentation. So I'm going to hand it over to Legay. There you go.
The bilingual auditing process will be the same this year for the 1920 school year that it has been in the previous years. So the first slide that we have is the form that's available from your RAO, and this form must be completed prior to your RAOs coming to do your bilingual audit. This form is called the Bilingual Count Verification Form. So first we're going to walk through how to fill out this form. Step one is you're going to open the WAVE application in single sign-on and navigate to State Reporting Certification. Once there, you're going to click on State Reporting Certification, and you're going to come up with the screen that has your district, and it has a drop-down on the side. On the drop-down, you're going to choose October 1,